being honest with you guys, I actually have not driven this car in probably a week and a half, 2 weeks probably. We'll go ahead and get our drag comp wheels on it. We're gonna go drive it. So it's really hot out today, so I mean, you gotta take that into account. Calypso is running like crap. It needs new plugs in it. The thing's not been driven in months. So we're gonna have to get to that here pretty soon. We're gonna get some plugs in this thing, put the interior back together, and get this car back on the road. I'm curious to see how the front wheels, like how this setup's gonna look on this car since I lowered the front a little bit more. Hopefully it looks nice and tucked. That's good fitment to me. I love it. So I robbed the coil off of this car to put on this one. So we need to get that off. In all of my years, I've never had such a cheap coil work so good. Guys, we went through Screaming Demon coils, MSD, and now this is the only one that works. So I literally just bought a new Screaming Demon and it wasn't good pretty much out of the box. And this little thing right here has been awesome. Alright, so I'm not going to warm the car up because I forgot that I have to load a new tune in this thing. So Matt over at Leach Motorsports sent me an updated tune with even more RPM now and more timing. So we're going to throw that in the car. I'm going to do a data log on it and we're going to go do a draggy run. It should be pretty simple. We'll probably make 2 runs, something like that. I'll show you the times that we run now and we'll compare them to the old AOD times. What's up with these little things right here that just fly like right in your face? Look, look. What's the point? I'm literally gonna have to go buy a computer to tune my car because I don't have any way other than this computer to tune my car, and this thing never wants to work. Is that a right button? No. Anyway, it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to load our new tune in the car, but that's fine. The tune's not going to make that much of a difference. I tell you what, it'd be a good comparison. We'll run the car the way that it is, and then maybe later on we'll throw that new tune in and see. It's just, you know, there's not enough of a difference. We already have high timing in the car, or higher timing, I'll say, and it's pretty cool because this is actually a State Trooper timing curve that is in this car, so that's really cool. Matt hooked me up with that. Now it's modified, but the curve is based off of the State Trooper, the way it was modified. So anyway, there's not much else to say. Let's just go ahead, take the car down the road and see what the draggy times are. I'll do my best to record the actual video for you. Smooth this transmission is and how good this car runs with this setup. I know a lot of you guys don't like automatics, especially AODs, but this car does really well, and I think this could be a setup for somebody, especially somebody that's maybe, you know, slightly disabled or just has a hard time, you know, with a clutch. Like, there is hope without going to a fully built, like, custom R70 internals in this thing, you know, for it to work. You can still use AOD gear sets and stuff. I mean, these transmissions can be built to hold a little power for sure, even with the stock stuff in them. We're just gonna leave it and drive, see how this goes, okay? Should be pretty simple. Wow. Guys, listen to this. Well, that's not gonna work. The car's just blowing the tires off of it. It's never done that before. Holy crap. And I even heated them up first. Huh. The car's on drag radials, by the way, guys. Every other time, this car is dead hooked. Holy crap. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do some rethinking here. Maybe it's the road, but I've tried it on this road before. That didn't work out. The car is spinning so bad now compared to what it used to. So I can only attribute that to the new transmission. So this thing's trying to hit a lot harder whenever it takes off. I've tried it on that road before and we didn't have a problem. So I'm not sure what to do now other than obviously suspension. Now, with that being said, guys, we've got some, well, chassis stuff coming for this car, and I think you're gonna love it. So stick around for that. I hear this all the time. Amateur hour, this guy's a effing amateur, all that type stuff. How can you have had a channel this long and still have issues? Guys, we all have issues. None of us are perfect, right? I wanna come out and show you what the car did. I mean, we could edit around it and I could pretend like it never happened. Sure, we could do that. But I also want you guys to know that I'm human just like you are. Shit happens. Can't be mad at an outing like that. That's a good thing that this car naturally aspirated. Those tires aren't going to hold it. That's pretty cool. When this car left, it smoked the tires. I mean, both tires. And this is the stock rear end as far as, you know, the clutches haven't been upgraded or anything like that. And it literally left two just beautiful dark black marks. And even shifted into second spinning, so that's pretty freaking cool. The Carbon Fox is going to be an animal. I'm telling you guys, this thing is going to be so nasty. If we can ever get that supercharger on it and make it work, it's going to be disgusting. I think so. We still have an early shift to third that I left this thing in drive. So I did notice that it tried to shift once again a little early going into third. We're going to work on some stuff with some spring options maybe in the governor valve and see if that can't try to control some of this stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. But also I can just manually shift the car. So that's always an option, and that's more than likely what you're gonna do if you're ever out racing. Now, as far as like normal driving, this thing is freaking perfect. So every once in a while I like to cover the build on this car because I know not everybody watches all the videos and this may be your first time. So I'll keep it quick. This is a 1968 302. It's got aftermarket pistons, old Canfield 192cc heads, Systemax upper and lower intake, 24-pound injectors, headers, 75mm AccuFab throttle body, Anderson N412 camshaft in it. I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, you know, built transmission. This is an AOD before R70W gear set and upgraded clutches and all that type stuff. 14 gears in the car, and that's about it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple setup. So just judging off what I felt, I think this car is probably going to pick up a couple of tenths in the 8th mile. Look, you can't expect a whole lot out of this thing. I mean, it's not high compression. It doesn't have a huge cam and, you know, huge heads. I mean, this is a very, very old school build. This is absolutely something that somebody would have built like in the mid 2000s, you know, something like that. So whether you think that's old school or not, I don't necessarily, but I know for some of you do. Guys, that's that. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to take the car back out today and beat on it with, you know, with this setup. I'm going to do some thinking, do some research. We got some stuff coming that may help a little bit, and we'll cover that whenever it gets here. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Don't be too hard on me. Shit happens. I'll catch you in the next one, and as always, thanks for watching. So I did take the car out one more time, and I managed a 905. So I'll show you that here. The fastest this car has run so far is like an 897. Now, you may say to yourself, well, that's not faster.
Well, I left it in drive, and the car shifted early. So without a doubt, I feel like there's 2/10 in this car for sure. This thing is so much snappier. The car is so much more responsive. It just needs some suspension. This car has no suspension. This thing's pretty much slammed on the ground, as you can see. So that's part of the problem. But I do want to say that it's never spun like that. I'll include some footage right here of the black marks. That was crazy. So with all that being said, I'm very pleased with the transmission. I just have to manually shift. So the next outing, we're going to do our best to get this thing to hook, maybe find a better road, heat the tires up a little bit better, and I'm going to manually shift it. So just so you know, the converter was built in anticipation for the supercharger. So we actually shot for about 500 horsepower on it. That's probably why this converter is not working very good with it being NA. It does work good, it's just that initial hit. That, and I'm pretty sure our back brakes are not working at all. So you're pretty much just having to try to flash the converter. You guys got to remember, this is not a manual valve body. This thing is being left in drive. There's no trans brake. There's none of that. It's just not even a foot brake. It's just from a dead stop, you just hit it. Now, once we get the back brakes working, we should be able to bow it up a little bit, get on the converter some, and she should roll. Because once this car leaves, once it gets out about probably 10 feet, it comes to life. But you're losing a lot of time there, as you can see in the 60 foot. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. And as always, thanks for watching.